Live from Fargo and serving you on TV, online, and on the go. This is Valley News Live at 5.
It was a Black Friday in January at the Sam's Club in Moorhead today. One day after the store announces it's closing, people were lining up outside its doors in the bitter cold to get their hands on the Everything Must Go deals. Valley News Team's Ashley Holcomb is out there too and joins us live from Moorhead. Ashley, tell us about all the clearance chaos.
Yes, when we first got here today, it was pretty busy, and as you can see, the line has continued to grow. There are shoppers behind me who are patiently waiting to get inside. As for when we got here today at 2:30, people were lining up outside the store to get their chance to shop for some deals. Management tells us everything in the store is 25% off, and that brought bargain hunters out in droves. We saw some customers coming out with some serious loads of groceries, and what we heard from most of those shoppers is that apparently they were all thinking the same thing.
I thought we could get in on some good buys. I think everybody else had the same idea.
Absolutely. How long have you been waiting here?
We just walked up, actually. I was surprised to see the parking lot so full, and I've seen this line.
Management says they will be open until the 26th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. so that way shoppers can take advantage of the sales. In Moorhead, Ashley Holcomb, Valley News Live.
All right, thank you, Ashley. New developments tonight in a story you'll only see here on Valley News Live. A sheriff's deputy in the Northern Valley has been charged in a Cavalier bar scuffle last month. Pembina County Deputy Dustin Wadholm is being charged with disorderly conduct after police say a woman was injured when he pushed her to the ground. Wadholm, who was off duty at the time, was suspended without pay for 3 days for the altercation. After our whistleblower story pointed out that police were conducting a criminal investigation, Pembina County Sheriff Terry Meitinger says he's reopening the internal investigation into Wadholm's actions. As mentioned, because of this action, someone contacted us on our whistleblower hotline. So if you need help uncovering fraud and corruption in your community, call us at 701-237-6576 and leave your tip. A member of our investigative team will get on the case and go to work to expose the truth. A lot of sunshine today, not a lot of warmth, though. Sounds like that's the story for a few days. Hutch, are we in for another bitterly cold night?
Yes, and even more bitter and more cold for much of the region as the sun sets on our Friday. We're going to close the work week and begin the weekend with mighty cold temperatures. The snow is gone and the wind hasn't been overly strong today, but with temperatures below zero, wind chills have been challenging. Between 20 and 30 below is what it feels like on exposed skin outdoors. So if you're bundle up before you head outdoors to the good old hockey game, it's going to really get cold tonight. There is a wind chill warning for Fargo, Grand Forks, Jamestown, north through the Devil's Lake Basin, and most of northwest Minnesota, including Becker County, as well as Hubbard County. Temperatures, air temperatures by 10 o'clock will be in the teens below zero and 20s below for some. And we will see 20 to 30 below morning temperatures as well. So brutally cold out there. Remember your four-legged friends out there. And, well, if you're a rancher, you may want to provide some shelter to the animals from the north wind. It won't be strong, but air temperatures are going to be brutal during the overnight.
Good idea. Yeah, thank you.
Little warm air in the forecast. I'll tell you when it gets here in a second.
There you go. Thank you.
You bet.
We're continuing to follow a developing story after an overnight shooting in Fargo. We now have a description of the gunman after the incident at a north side apartment building. Fargo police say an officer was flagged down about 11 last night by someone who had been shot. A second victim with a head injury approached the officer a short time later. Both were taken to a local hospital. The extent of their injuries aren't known at this time. The victims told investigators they were attacked by a black man wearing a mask who allegedly forced his way into their apartment on the 700 block of 10th Street North. The incident is still under investigation. Hear what neighbors are saying about the shooting and about that neighborhood on Valley News Live at 6. Grand Forks police need your help identifying a man involved in an armed robbery early this morning. Police were called to the Valley Dairy on Columbia Road around 7:30. Witnesses say the man entered the store, showed a knife, and demanded money. Take a look at these surveillance photos from police. The man is described as stocky and was last seen wearing a larger blue jacket, chopper mittens, a bomber-style hat, and a blue and white scarf. Anyone with information can call Grand Forks Police at 787-8000. It's Friday, which means it's time to take a look at this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Fargo police say 20-year-old Francisco Mendez is wanted for several charges, including marijuana possession, driving under suspension, and fictitious plates. We have his picture on your screen right now. You can call your local law enforcement if you have any information. President Trump denies using certain language during a private meeting with members of Congress to talk about immigrants. But people inside the room insist he did. And lawmakers from both sides have harsh words about the conversation. Weijia Zhang reports from the White House.
Mr. President, are you a racist?
President Trump ignored questions about whether he used vulgar language during a meeting about immigration in the Oval Office. Senator Dick Durbin was the only Democrat in the room. He proposed restoring protections for people from Haiti, several African countries, and El Salvador, when Durbin says the president interrupted.
That's when he used these vile and vulgar comments, calling the nations they come from sh**holes. The exact word used by the president, not just once, but repeatedly.
The president reportedly asked, why do we want all these people from expletive-hole countries here? We should bring in more people from places like Norway. Republican Senators Tom Cotton and David Perdue also attended the meeting. They issued a joint statement saying, we do not recall the president saying these comments specifically. President Trump denies using the language in question, but neither he nor the White House have disputed comments that suggest he prefers immigrants from certain countries over others.
I read those comments later last night. So first thing that came to my mind was very unfortunate, unhelpful.
The controversy could derail negotiations over immigration reform, including protection for DACA recipients. If lawmakers don't reach an agreement by January 19th, the talks may spill into a spending deal to keep the government open. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, the White House.
The president's comments came as senators presented details of a bipartisan compromise, but he rejected the terms, so it's back to the drawing board. Facing a deadline today, President Trump is keeping the 2015 Iran nuclear agreement alive, despite repeated threats to kill American participation in the deal. In a statement, the president says the U.S. will extend its lifting of certain sanctions on the Iranian regime, at least until the next deadline comes up in several months. This is the third time his administration has continued to waive sanctions and stay in the agreement. But the president openly dislikes the Obama-era accord and has repeatedly blasted it as a terrible deal for America. Trump is threatening to scuttle the deal unless changes are made to permanently block a pathway for Iran to build nuclear weapons. Remember to like Valley News Live on Facebook. You can follow the latest news, weather, and breaking news updates anytime on your feed. Just search Valley News Live, like our page, and you'll stay informed throughout the entire day. You might not want to have an ice cream bar for dessert tonight because there's a recall. Which flavors and where they were sold up next.